As always, I try to find the very best, the most intriguing, fascinating people to share with you. My guest, look at him. When he was a child, he had an afro and big glasses because he moved to Australia from Egypt and was bullied for 10 years. And the bullying had an effect on him, but clearly not anymore. So I cannot wait to introduce him, have him tell us how he's overcome the challenges in his life, specifically bullying. His name is Ahmad Iman, and he is an international man of empowerment, a host, a presenter, an author, and I don't want to spend 40 minutes telling you all the great things he is doing and all the value he is adding to the world. Welcome to Conversations with Jenny Lynn Ahmad. I hope I'm not mispronouncing your names.
No, that's perfect. And thank you so much for inviting me. And that was such a lovely introduction. I appreciate that.
You deserve it. And I'll tell you why I believe so strongly that you do. I've known many people who were bullied, and the bullies won. And so I admire those of us, because I was bullied too, who were bullied, but we didn't let the bullies win. And so welcome to Conversations with Jenny Lynn, and tell us what it was like when you were that little boy who was bullied because of whatever, how you looked, your accent. Tell us.
Yeah, look, when I look back on it now, it was definitely a period of my life that was not only difficult, but it was something that I felt I had to go through as well. I was very different. I looked different. I sounded different. When I immigrated to Australia, I couldn't speak a word of English. So I had this strange appearance to most people in Australia, and I also couldn't speak the language. And so I started school and actually picked up the English and adapted to it. And as you can hear now, I've picked up the Australian accent quite well. But yeah, I was bullied for about a 10-year period because I was different, and it absolutely crushed my confidence. It crushed my self-esteem. It was just a very, very difficult period. And it did reach a point, after about 10 years where I more or less hit rock bottom. I couldn't look people in the eyes. I didn't feel like I deserved to take up the voice space. That's how much it impacted me. And that continued probably until I was about 16 or 17, and I was working at a pizza place. And I remember this because it's a pivotal moment for me. I was working at a pizza place and I was making pizzas and washing dishes, and my manager was a serial entrepreneur, and he took me aside and he said, "Look, I know you don't believe in yourself, but I do. I believe in you." And he gifted me something that changed everything for me. He gifted me a 24-disc CD set that was by Tony Robbins. And this is back in the year 2000. So I mean, at that time, I had no idea who Tony Robbins was. I had no idea what self-improvement was. So anyway, I went home. I put on the very first CD, and I think saying CD gives away my age a little bit. It is a CD. I put on that first CD, and as soon as I heard that voice, Tony Robbins' voice, it changed everything for me. It put me in a position where I started to be very introspective and question what was actually happening and why I was allowing it to happen. And then it shifted me in the sense that I started to challenge my fears. I had a fear of being outspoken. I had a fear of putting myself out there. I had a fear of speaking and all of those things. And so I decided to challenge those fears one at a time. I challenged my fear of public speaking by volunteering to speak. I would volunteer to speak at a friend's wedding. I would volunteer to do sales presentations. I would volunteer to do anything that involves speaking in public, just so I can grow through what I go through. And I did that for a period of 15 years. And when you do that for 15 years, I mean, something incredible happens. It's not only do you get over your fear, but you start to build a serious expertise in a particular area. And so fast forward to 15 years to where I am today, and now I'm a presenter, I'm a host, I'm an edutainer, I'm a content creator. I've built up a large following of people that believe what I believe. I look back on those times and I understand it's probably something I had to go through, but I also believe the pain that we go through is a billboard, a hint from the universe that lets us know how we can best serve other people. And so now, anytime I see anyone struggling with confidence, anytime I see someone that's got a huge amount of doubts within them, I try to build up their confidence and courage so they can start to live their best life. Because when you start to live your best life with confidence and courage, the amount of opportunities that come your way are incredible. And so I try and do that now, and I try and serve that way through everything that I do.
So I'm sure everyone that watching this segment will wonder, what was the pivotal moment? You listened to the Tony Robbins tapes, but throughout, I know many people who've been bullied, and you can talk till you're blue in the face, but something has to click within them to where they want to believe you, because some people think, well, that's because you're my friend, or that's because you care. So you're telling me I'm wonderful and I can touch the stars if I really try, and all the stuff that we tell people when we're trying to encourage them. What was it in those tapes, or when was it in your life that you said, I am not going to be bullied, I deserve to be here, I have a voice, and I am free to express it when I choose to, and I'm not listening to any more bullies? When was that, and what was that?
There was a number of lessons that I learned in listening to Tony Robbins and then absorbing information from everyone else in relation to self-improvement and personal development. And a few of those were, one, not letting how people treat you and their inability to see your worth determine your own value. And that was very, very important. So not taking on the opinions of others, take on the opinion of yourself. The other one is kindness. And I specifically mean being kind to yourself, because how you treat yourself is an indication of how others can treat you. Okay, and I was allowing others to treat me unkindly because I was treating myself unkindly. So there was a number of lessons there that almost forced me to look inside and question why I was doing what I was doing. And I'm not indicating that anyone going through bullying, that it's their fault. It's not. It's a fault in the system. It's a fault in the bystanders, the teachers, the parents. I mean, everyone's got a part to play. But you also have to take accountability and do what you can do.
So I agree with you 100%. So have you encountered any of your bullies amidst your fabulous success? And what kind of reaction do you get from them? I'm curious.
No, I actually haven't. I mean, I have come across a few people in terms of high school reunions and things like that, but no, they weren't people that specifically bullied or anything like that. So no, there hasn't been there's no revenge story or anything like that. I'm just grateful to be in the position that I'm in, and I just believe in kindness, and that not only means being kind to myself, but being kind to others. So even if I did come across them, believe it or not, I would actually just give back kindness as much as I could.
That's awesome. That's kind of what I was hoping to hear. You hear so many of these stories, and sometimes the revenge is doing exactly what you've done, although we don't want to give it that label, because we have, and I think young kids especially, they're unkind because they don't know better. But unfortunately, they're adults who behave this way. And that is a different story. I am hoping that your bullying stopped at 10 because you turned a new chapter where you encountered people who were mature. And so that helped you to come out of it. And even though we're never going to meet people who everyone loves us, when you encountered people who weren't happy with you, it didn't really have much effect on you. How did your parents handle this?
I internalized it a lot, so I didn't actually speak about it openly. Parents rarely knew, people around me rarely knew. Um, it was just something that I dealt with internally. There were certain times where it was quite obvious, and then I had conversations. But to your earlier point, when you're bullied, you can respond in one of two ways. You can either reflect that same behavior onto other people and become a bully, or you can start to treat people with love and kindness and use the pain that you have to best serve other people. And so I've chosen to do the latter. And I think that's an important point, because a lot of people that get bullied actually become bullies, which is no good. And look, kids are cruel, and we can take it as that. Kids are cruel, and there's a number of reasons that they bully: insecurities, peer pressure, trying to be popular, things of that nature. But yeah, when it's an adult that's bullying and it's intentional, then that's not on. I don't accept that. And so anyone that's going through workplace bullying, for example, as an adult in the workplace, that's something that should definitely be reported, and it's something that there should definitely be some sort of initiative to counteract it.
I look at you on Facebook, and before you posted that story about the bullying, not Facebook, sorry, LinkedIn, I would never imagine that you were bullied, because you exude confidence, you exude success. Everybody looking at you, my first impression of you was, oh, here's another really successful guy who probably had the most amazing family and upbringing, and was was groomed for this role. And then you posted that story. I'm like, I really want to interview this guy. You know how long I've been after you to do this interview.
Thank you very much. Look, everyone
sorry,
has their own story, don't they? Everyone has their own story.
I know. And a lot of people aren't always what we see. Everyone has a story. It may not be one of bullying, but I believe in all of our lives, we encounter some growth opportunities. And that's what I call these types of situations that challenge us. And I'm really proud again of you, because you took something that could have made you a very different person. You're a huge success. Now you are an international man of empowerment. And what a better person to do this. So you do a lot of you do a lot of motivational speeches and stuff like this.
I do. I mean, I try to inspire and motivate. I don't consider myself a motivational speaker. I really just consider myself a teacher. Everything that I've learned, I just try and pass on. And I think it's in the delivery, in how I pass it on with my conviction and the confidence. I believe what I'm saying. And so it really resonates with people. And when you can articulate it and deliver it in such a way that you align it with some personal stories or some personal examples, people really do resonate with that. So yeah, I absolutely go out of my way to inspire and empower people. I truly believe people are just not living their best life, and for a number of reasons. There's a lot of things holding them back. Self-limiting beliefs, some insecurities, some things that they haven't addressed, whatever it is. When people start to truly live their best life, the amount of opportunities that come their way is just incredible. And so I'm about that, and I'm also about creating opportunities where there are none, because everyone can create opportunities for themselves.
What would you say to someone who is being bullied and who can't see the silver lining behind the dark clouds? Who doesn't have someone to give them some Tony Robbins tapes or CDs?
The very first thing is, I would say, be kind to yourself. That's the very, very first thing. When you go through bullying for such a long period of time, and I experienced this, you start to believe the things that people tell you. You start to believe people's opinions, and all of a sudden, your opinion of yourself is so low that you just feel crushed in every way. And so I would first say, be kind to yourself. Don't let those negative thoughts take over. As soon as you start thinking negative thoughts, just think of a light switch and flick that light switch and turn it off. and start to switch your mindset and your current states. That's very, very important, because a lot of the time when we get caught up in negative thoughts or negative opinions or what people are thinking about us, we let those thoughts drag on and go on and go on. And before you know it, it's a couple of hours that we've been thinking about it. And obviously we just feel crushed. So being kind to yourself is number one. Number two is the only opinion that matters is your opinion of yourself. Okay, so whatever it is that you feel that you can accomplish, I believe me, I've seen it happen. You absolutely can if you actually believe it, and you do have to believe it. So don't take on the opinions of other people and anybody, and I'm talking about everybody. Only take on your opinion, your own positive opinion of yourself and what you can potentially achieve, and that'll help you move forward. And the other thing is reach out to people, don't internalize it. I internalized, and that's why it dragged on for so long. Reach out to people and take on mentors, because mentors will help expedite your journey, and you'll realize soon enough that there's so many other things to focus on other than, just the smaller things and the little things which you shouldn't really sweat. So take on mentors, become a mentor, and move forward.
You're an author. Can we talk about your books or book?
I'm not actually an author, so I can't say that.
Oh, you're not? Okay. I thought I saw that on your LinkedIn profile. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay, so, well, you need to write a book though.
I'm definitely looking to write a book, if not a few books, but yeah, I can't take the title of author just yet.
Okay, so you live in Sydney.
Yes.
And so is your life primarily around doing motivational, encouraging talks for people? What are you doing now besides this?
So I wear a few different hats.
Okay.
I am essentially a presenter and a host. So I have a number of shows that I either host or I co-host. And within them, it's really just a matter of giving value and giving as much content as possible. There is a show called Level Up that's around personal development and self-improvement. There's a show called Unleashed, which is very, very much similar to that as well. I have a show called Rising LinkedIn Stars. I'm involved in local radio here in Sydney. I am also a consultant. So I help people build influence on social media. I help people build influence and visibility and more or less do the things that I've done. I also host some events. So I'm partnered with an amazing company called Success Resources. And this is an incredible part of the story. And this is how the universe works. It's a beautiful thing. So I partnered with a company called Success Resources, which is a company I've been wanting to work with for a very, very long time. And I am now hosting and presenting events for some incredible speakers like Gary Vaynerchuk, Richard Branson, wow, and also now Tony Robbins.
Oh, that's so cool.
So my journey started with Tony Robbins, and now I'm in a position where I get to work with and partner with Tony Robbins. It's almost like it's gone full circle. So the universe is a beautiful thing. It's amazing how it works out. So I wear a number of hats, but essentially what I love to do is present, is to host, is to perform, and that can be through presenting or hosting or content creation or working with my clients, whatever it might be. So I'm in a position where I'm doing what I love, and it's an amazing thing.
That is so amazing as I sit and listen to you, because I have these pictures of you that I saw on the article where you posted about the bullying in your childhood. And I think, how you've gone from that to this, and you're clearly very confident and very much in control. And I think it's a great message for people in similar situations, because quite a few people are having a real difficult time with this, because the wiring of who we become often happens in childhood. And it's very difficult to undo that wiring. So hats off to you that you have been able to do that and to make this huge success of your life. So anyone watching this show, when you say to someone, you have to love yourself, What does that mean? Sometimes I wonder, what does that mean? How can I love myself? So often people confuse loving yourself with narcissism. So can you speak to that?
Yeah, I'm not talking about narcissism. I'm just talking about giving yourself a break. A lot of the time people are, not quite happy with who they are because they're not happy with where they're at. And perfectionism can lead to a lot of negative opinions about yourself. Life is not about being perfect. Life is about being real, and as long as you're being real, that's all that matters. And so when I say be kind to yourself, I just mean give yourself a break. Things take time, good things take time. And as long as you're going in the right direction and you're actually focused on working on yourself, you only need to be better than the person that you were yesterday. You don't need to compete with anyone else. You don't need to compare yourself with anyone else. Just compare yourself to the you of yesterday. And if you can work to be better than that person, then you're winning. That's it. So yeah, I'm simply just asking people to give themselves a break. The negative thoughts don't need to continue because you don't need to be perfect. We're all human. The only ask is that you be real. That's it.
I love that. I really do, because we live in a very competitive world and everybody wants to be the best at what they do. And it's almost like the world is set up to force us into competition oftentimes. And so I'm happy that you are emphasizing that we don't need to do this to be successful. I love how you put it. Just be a better version of yourself every day. And
That's it.
that's it. And I've watched a lot of people who are very unhappy, either stuck in unhappy relationships or just unhappy because they're trying to be the best. And what does
Yeah.
that mean? Every day that is changing.
Hmm.
Anyway, I am so grateful that you could afford me this time in the middle of your day. Before I let you go, what do you want to leave with the viewers that I have not asked you?
I would leave them with just one piece of advice, and that is something that I've taken on for a very, very long time, and it changed me. It's a piece of advice from Wayne Dyer, and that is uh, don't let your music inside you die. So if you have music inside you, and to different people, that can mean different things. Whatever it is that you have inside you that you want to do it, because life is short, and the last thing you want to do is live a very, very long life and think back to that one thing that you wanted to do that you could have achieved and you didn't actually do it. So that's the piece of advice that I leave you with. And as always, be kind to yourself.
And we are dealing with COVID. So the entire world is experiencing unprecedented situations. Do you have anything you want to say about that, especially for people who are feeling, depressed? A lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people who are already insecure are now a lot more insecure. And so, is there anything you want to leave in addition to that message for those people? Because you are an overcomer. And if anyone has a message for them, it would be you.
Yeah, look, in Sydney, we're actually still in lockdown, believe it or not. So we've been in lockdown now for the last 8 weeks, and we're on lockdown for another maybe 6 weeks, unless it's extended. So I can definitely relate. Australia has been a little bit delayed. My message is this: get busy, during lockdown, and that could mean a number of things. If there's a business that you've been looking to start that side hustle. Get started on that project. Read that book that you've been, that book that's been sitting on the couch now for the last 6 months. Read that book. Make sure you're connecting with people. Okay, we have the ability to connect with people via Zoom, just like you and I are doing now. Connection is very, very important, and it's only in isolation that we feel unhappiness often. So I would say get busy, make sure you're connecting, and use this opportunity and time to get creative, because we're often, I doubt we're going to have this much time again in the near future.
I am so grateful. Thank you so much. I am sure that everyone watching this will admire you and gain inspiration from what you've shared. And thank you so much.
My
Stay
pleasure. Thank you for having me.
safe. And I hope that you're going to get out soon. You guys have really been. I have another friend in Australia, and she was telling me this yesterday. I was quite surprised because I thought you guys had opened up.
We had opened up, and then we had another strain come back, and now day by day it's just getting worse. Unfortunately, we're getting new and new cases. So we've gone back into lockdown, and I'd say we're probably going to be in lockdown till later this year.
Unfortunately, I feel this is what our lives are going to become, because somehow it feels like this virus is going to continue to mutate. It's like it's trying to push us. Anyway, thanks again. Stay safe. And I will be in touch soon with this interview for you.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
Well, evening for me. You have a lovely afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching Conversations with Jenny Lynn. When a conversation is all you need to be inspired. And this fabulous gentleman, I am positive, will inspire you. And I will see you next time with another fascinating guest. Thank you.